What's up, class, and welcome to my analogy speech. So today we will be comparing myself to a bird commonly known as a crow. Throughout my research, I've discovered that this animal and I share similar attributes and abilities to the way we deal with everyday life. So the main reason I picked this crow for my analogy speech is due to the shared abilities unlike the rest. I'm also it is quite a very impressive bird and often underrated by many. These shared things that both I and the crow have in common are the following. First of all, crows are very intelligent animals in comparison to others. I also believe I'm quite intelligent myself. Second of all, both the crow and I are quite often very misunderstood by the majority of those around us. And lastly, the third reason is that the crow is also very sociable, just like myself. So, to begin with, just like a crow, I'm intelligent. I will use my brain to tackle everyday life challenges. A crow is capable of crafting its own tools to get to its next meal, even if it demands extra time and energy to get to it. I once saw this video on the Discovery Channel and it shows how this bird decided to catch this insect, but the insect flew away faster than he could get him, and he decided to hide right in between the cracks of the tree. And so as the bird was trying to peek at it, he realized that he wasn't able to reach it with his peak, right? So what he did, he decided to fly away, come back with a branch that he has obtained. A branch that was just narrow enough to fit in the hole and also long enough to be able to poke the insect out, right? And what happened is that he did eventually force them out. And here, look, I have a picture. And this is very typical. This is very common, and not just specific crows. Most crows do end up doing that. But yes, he eventually got the insect out by just poking at it and decided to eat it. And that's how I believe. I want to say that I'm the same way. I don't obviously eat insects, but I think I understand that I try to use my best, my abilities to gain those resources available. That makes sense. Whether it's advanced technology, um, useful information, buying tools, free money around, assets, anything so I can accomplish my task, or talk on my everyday life, making it more efficient and easier. Second of all, the crow is also smart enough to understand these weaknesses. So the crow understands by clarity that he has a small body, so any sort of bite from a dog will definitely instantly get him hurt. So you understand it cannot be on a one-on-one being confrontation with another animal because most likely he's always gonna end up being the weakest one. So he uses his knowledge, his intelligence to compensate for that by doing other things such as playing games, And I like to say that I'm the same way. I'm not physically the most fit individual in most scenarios, um, but if I need to be prepared for anything, is that I need to use my own knowledge to compensate for those things by using my psychological skills to dominate certain scenarios, whether it's just a game or a general thing to keep in mind when going through life. The bird is very creative as well. It will also try its best to plan ahead, prepare, and organize in advance before making any serious actions towards its next objective. This bird is extraordinary since it is capable of like patiently waiting and planning its next move before even acting. So this relates to me because I would rather just give myself extra amount of time just to think of another alternative way of solving an issue instead of just hoping for plan A to work out. I always come up with plan B, plan C, plan E, and sometimes even it doesn't work out. But at least I'm prepared for the sort of possibility of not resulting. Um, Next of all, second of all, is that the crow is quite misunderstood by many, resulting in getting avoided in general. So just like myself, many people have the wrong idea of crows. Perhaps the mythical reasons is due to its appearance, or they might think that he's the wizard's favorite pet. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of reasons why people just scare them away instead of just understanding they're not like that. Often, from my experiences, ever since I've been in high school to the present day, I have been misjudged for the way that I dress, because I do look sometimes a bit too casual. I look careless, like a high schooler that goes around doing crazy stuff. Apparently to them, right? So, but I'm not like that, Usually they just misjudge you for the way you look, and this is something that's been happening for a long time. So crows often do behave differently and have unique ways of solving issues in which others might think this kind of weird or not normal. As we may know, crows have a distinctive way of doing things. They're smart. They're not your typical bird in the sky. They seem scary and often would not be preferable to have around. For example, in my architectural studio, when I'm in the group mandatory setting to work on a project together, I'm not at all the first option as a team lead. I'm usually the last one or somewhere in the middle. But only when they run out of alternatives to solve an issue, that's when they bring me in if I can volunteer to step up, which I do in most cases. They often get surprised to see how I come up with those solutions. They don't might not understand my logic or my instincts, but at the end of the day, I give them good results, and I end up proving them wrong about me. So that's something I can at least be proud of as well. That I know the crows do deal with it. You know. Lastly and finally, just like a crow, I am also very sociable in general and enjoy company. I do enjoy being alone too, but I enjoy being in company as well. So crow is also known to be close around others, of his kind, and works well with them, even if it becomes, especially when it becomes necessary. Even though these birds together are very smart, they are not hostile to one another, and in more occurrences, they have been recorded in camera as a group working together. While one of those birds distracts the mother from her eggs, you know, the other bird is actually getting the eggs. So they work together to achieve similar goals. You know, I like to say that I'm resourceful myself in a group setting, and that and especially I work much better when I have the same people working with me that have the same goals or the same interests I do. Crows do exceed expectations due to their intelligence as a group acting as one, often outplaying their rivals or competition, right? So even if this bird is quite small, being alone, they rather work together to achieve greater things. And using their logic, you know, their full potential as a group, constantly outplaying their rivals and solving serious issues together. I in the past, when assigned to a team, I would often take the leave because I was very open and trying things outside the box, even if they do not agree with me. And as life in general, people won't agree with me. You know, the things I do, I only sometimes play unfair to other competition at first, but I only do it just to protect my own, especially my family, my friends. Sometimes they're not incapable of doing things, you know, unfairly or cheatful, but I only do that when I see the opponent doing the same to me, or that they done it to me. Is That's when I go off the line to, you know, play different. You know, play fire with fire. That makes sense. So sometimes we gotta be able to do that. You know, to defend those that cannot defend themselves. Sometimes you gotta just play out of the rules just to get what you need to get. You know, so even though people don't agree with the things that I do morally for ethical reasons, I don't just use it like that. You know, I make sure that the opponent has done it first, and that I only do it just for the better good of others around me. So crowds do have in fact a sense of hierarchy among themselves, yet they do respect more boundaries, unlike the lion family or the wolf pack. They are much less aggressive, and they mostly just focus on the main mission. So even though I'm not in a group individual, people around me can still say that I'm someone that with very open ideas and discussion. I'm not the close minded like they expected. And usually I'm very transparent, which sometimes again is a reason, which I repeat is the reason why I come off rude to them sometimes. And even though people still love me, but often they would do have to keep a distance from me. So in conclusion to everything I have said today, I'm comparing myself to Crow, and to the three main reasons were because I'm highly intellectual, very sociable, and yet very misunderstood at times. You know, so there it is, a bit more about myself. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a good day.